where emergencies are met with swift attention and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
Friday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. Also streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning we're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. You can see my handsome young guest. I'll introduce you to him in just a second. We're about to get into election season. We got Election Day coming up November the 4th. There'll be early voting, I guess, 3 weeks before that as well. So we'll start bringing in some candidates who are in the contested races here locally in Carroll County, probably in particular. I'm going to bring in candidates. So far, we've got scheduled candidates for the mayor's race in Bremen, got a candidate from Villa Rica, and got two candidates for a contested race here in Carrollton, Ward 1 City Council seat, currently held by Jacqueline Bridges. Her challenger is a young man out of Carrollton named Don North, again, candidate for Ward 1 City Council. He was on this program about 5 years ago. Had a fascinating discussion with him. A real interesting project that you were involved in and done similar things since then. So Don, first of all, Don North, introduce yourself to us. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it?
My name is Don North. I was born in Carrollton, Georgia. I've been back from the military and for about the last 26 years. And I really love the city. I feel very a part of the city. I'm looking forward to running and winning Ward 1. I think I have a lot to offer. In fact, I know I have a lot to offer. And my interest is to make the ward and the city one of the best cities in the state of Georgia.
So that's the motivation. I mean, was there a particular incident or issue that you came across or you've noticed for years that you wanted to hopefully address or improve?
Well, yes, there were a few things I noticed that we could, as a ward of the city of Carrollton, could do a little bit better. And within the ward, there are a few things, that we could take care of. Just recently, unfortunately, there was a shooting there, and a man was killed by a youth. And I want to look at doing more things or coming up with more programs for some of the youth in that part of the city and throughout the wards. Also, we were looking at safety. We were looking at some of the homes and things of that nature. So.
All right, Don North, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program, candidate for Ward 1 City Council in Carrollton. The incumbent candidate, Jacqueline Bridges, she also qualified. She'll be on the ballot with you. Have you paid attention to any votes she has been involved, anything that you might have disagreed with, or any actions?
Not necessarily, but my aim is to be responsive. I can't promise anything because it is a city council, and being part of that city council, I would represent not only the ward but the city, of course. But within that ward, there's a lot of work that we need to do to bring that ward up to where it should be. Listening to the voters and to the community over the last month here, I know that I'm the right candidate that can get in there and make a quick difference, and make a difference that that the individual voters and that community would feel. Running as a nonpartisan, I can help anyone. I don't have to have the label as a particular Democrat or Republican. I can run as nonpartisan because at the ward level, you're dealing with people door to door as opposed to some of the national regulations and congressional acts that are happening out there. It's still down eyeball to eyeball in that ward. Next door neighbors around the corner on the other side of the University of West Georgia. That is where I'm trying to make that difference in.
What are the boundaries for that ward?
They're running from Maple Street north to north down Highway 27, back through Bremen Road up to Columbia, and most of that area, just about all that area now. It's a pretty large size ward. And so I've been walking through, meeting people just about every day. And it's exhausting, but I like listening and talking to people and sharing some of their experiences and just meeting them and trying to garner their vote. Do
you have an idea on approximately how many votes wins a race like this in that Ward 1?
Well, typically, from what I've researched and seen, anything up under 500 to 1,000, we're trying to roll out as many as we can. We looked at and researched some of the last voting for the last 16 years and looked at that. We looked at some of the demographics in there as well, and we looked at the door-to-door. That's where we're going, knocking on doors and telling them who we are and moving forward.
And that seems, I've noticed 2 races here in the last maybe 2-3 years, 2 candidates going door-to-door and meeting as many people as they can, and those were successful campaigns. And I think you get some people out who maybe didn't even know there was an election coming up, who maybe never voted before. Mm-hmm. Well, you get that face-to-face time, and because it would be great to get 50% of a ward out there or something like that. But typically, it's less than 20, right?
It's less than 20%. But we feel that the more people we touch base with and motivate them, and if you don't win, I don't want to sound like a loser, but if you don't win, you can at least have individuals understanding how their city works, how the ward, what happens in this ward, how you can make a difference in this ward. And that's what we're trying to bring that mass of people out to do that.
Well, if you don't win, would you still, just because you mentioned it, if you don't win, would you still be involved? Would you try to get involved? If it didn't work out this time, you get more involved in civic groups or, planting gardens or working with kids or something like that. Would you not just drop out? Because I see that a lot. I'll get people on the program and they'll talk about why they're running. It's like, well, I just want to serve my community. I want to be here for them, and then they don't win and we don't hear from them again.
Well, let me be clear. I will win, but I enjoy working with youth. And I enjoy working in the community. We had a group of young men, probably 20, 25 years ago, and we worked with those individuals, and they were very successful. They went off into their lives and done things. They were raised right in that community. Probably about 10 of those kids, 10 to 12 kids, and they went on to do bigger and better things in our world here. And they'll call back and tell me, thank you for what you've done. We put them in single-engine airplanes. We read about everything. We didn't play any sports. Nothing's wrong with sports, but at this time, these kids did not have scholarships to go off to play football, basketball, or anything. We got the normal kid that wasn't quite sure what they wanted to do in the future, so we were able to build that youth motivation to do something. So some of them are working in industries around Carrollton. Some went into the military, and they've been very successful. I see them on Facebook. They're always shouting out to me, and I feel like they're part of my family. So that was easy to do, to motivate someone. And basically what I was doing was what I want to do. But times have changed now with kids and things. So we're trying to build another program that I have a lot more STEM, scientific motivations in there, and something similar to that. And because times have changed in 25 years, you just got to find out what a young person wants to do with their life.
Don North, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program, one of two candidates running for Ward 1 City Council, City of Carrollton. We are on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page this morning, so if you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to post those during the break, and I will try to glance down at there and read those back to our guest. We'll take the first break right now, come back and continue our conversation with Don North, Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy specializes in a customized designed academic approach tailored to meet the needs of our families. Our lower division prepares students with the necessary foundation to build excellence. Our middle division provides students with over 15 course offerings, providing them with opportunities to explore their talents and gifts. Our upper division provides personalized academic journeys, allowing them to achieve their dreams. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us, where every path leads to purpose.
Time right now is 8:39. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice program. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest this morning is Don North. He's a candidate for City Council in Carrollton. Wants to represent Ward 1. Early voting for this race and in all races here in Carrollton this year in Carroll County is October the 14th through October the 31st, and Election Day is November the 4th. And like I said, we'll try and get as many candidates on this program as we can, candidates in contested races before that time. Just if you are a candidate and you're in a contested race and you want to come on the program, send me an email, news@newstalk1330.com. Again, my guest this morning is Don North. I did kind of tease it when I started the program about how you and I met about 5 years ago, about some of the projects you were involved in. And you weren't bragging about it locally, what you were involved. I read it in an article in another state. And I said, all right, let's find this guy and bring him in. Tell us about that.
Well, I became a salesman of my own efforts in the fact that I'm selling history and telling the story about history. So everything that my organization does, we research the rarest African-American military. That pulls in everything that surrounds that particular history. And I work very closely with state historical markers and get their approval to support it. And so that's what we do. We looked at everything from and researched everything from African-American soldier that wrote a letter to President Lincoln, not complaining but requesting equal pay during the Civil War. It was $3 difference that the African-American soldiers, and the soldier was with the Company C 54th Regiment, and I have that approval. Massachusetts does not have a state historical society, but I spent some time up there, and we're going to put that project together. We're going to put that historical marker inside a museum. So it'll be a little bit different than what we've done. Currently, back in June, I worked on a historical marker for that was a little bit different. I've heard of this for years and years, but I never researched it. But once we got the research done, 1,200 African-American college graduates, once President Woodrow Wilson approved black officer training, over 1,200 African-American college graduates were trained at Fort Des Moines. And so on June...
It'll be Iowa, right?
Iowa, yes it is, Iowa. So I was able to work with the Historical Society, work with a lot of historians in that particular area and around the country, and we were able to erect that marker back in June, and it's a beautiful marker. I didn't expect that marker to look like that, but we had a very, very beautiful marker. we had reenactors there portraying General Pershing and one of his staff officers, and they were in character. We had a little over 100-something people that attended it. So history to some people are boring. I see it as revealing and pulling back that layer to tell us what exactly happened. So these individuals went over to World War I and were trained and fought into battles during World War I. And one of the African-American battalions led that last final push into Germany to end the war. Most of these gentlemen came back from the war and began to rebuild their communities and push for equal rights and civil rights. And so the Army put out a study on it, and it said that the African American officers were not that in 1925, but overall they performed, in with valor and courage, and commanded quite a bit. So
I do want to get back, to your campaign here, but when you and I met 5 years ago, you had just succeeded on getting a marker. Was it in South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Was it World War II veteran or
World War II veteran? Now this particular soldier, Sergeant Isaac Woodard, was returning home after fighting in World War II in the Pacific Theater, and on his way home to his into a small town in South Carolina near Columbia, he wanted to get off the bus for personal reasons. When the bus driver would not allow him, and then a spat happened. And once the bus driver drove to the nearest town, at that particular time, he ran off the bus, found the little small town sheriff and deputy, and they pulled him off the bus and continued to beat him, and both of his eyes were beaten, and he was blinded for life. And so once President Truman heard about this incident, and Truman had heard about similar incidents of African-American soldiers returning home, but he said, that's it, I'm going to combine that with my efforts to win the next presidential election, but at the same time, he was able to garner enough votes, and he was able to work with the military to actually integrate the military in 1948.
And that marker, where exactly is that marker?
Batesburg, South Carolina, roughly about 20 miles from Aiken.
Well, selfishly, I'm interested in these stories, so I got you to talk about it. But I think it does kind of show what kind of person you are for people considering your candidacy. So I think that's important. It's 8:46. I'm going to take our final break right now. We'll come back and talk about the actual campaign, your views, and in government and things like that. And we'll do that after this break. Again, any questions or comments, feel free to post those on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. We'll have more with Don North after this. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
8:47. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest is Don North. He is a candidate for Ward 1 City Council, City of Carrollton. Jacqueline Bridges is the incumbent, and she's qualified as well. Both of those individuals will be on ballots for that race. November the 4th is Election Day, and I think October 14th, we decided, is when early voting begins. So that's just down the road. public participation, we kind of talked about that a little bit. I mean, any ideas, any suggestions on how to get more people involved? Because, I mean, the number of people that do vote, I mean, it is disappointing.
Well, I feel that the more when I knock on that door, or I meet individuals that I've known for years and they live in that particular ward, I'm very friendly. I'm able to talk about anything, but at the same time, I'm there to get their vote, to at least talk with them about how we can change the ward, how we can move the ward forward, how we can make that ward a lot better. And all of them that I met have said, yes, I will vote for you. Yes, we do need some changes. Getting out door to door, meeting individuals. Each door you knock on and meet, there's a different story. Mm-hmm. And I've heard 100 stories so far. And so that's door to door, eyeball to eyeball campaigning.
How do you think you deal with, or how can you deal with criticism? I mean, criticism for council as a whole, or even, if they're going to criticize your vote in particular. How do you think you can deal with that?
Thick skin. I'm not going to take it personal. It'll come at you personal, but I'm representing the ward, and I'm also representing the city of Carrollton. There's never going to be a day where 100% is everything going to be cake and ice cream, or ice cream and cake. You have to take the good with the bad. You got to be able to see any way that you can make their suggestions or any type of way that you can make your campaign better at the same time by just listening and going back and reviewing what they're giving me every night. So I have notes on top of notes, research on top of research, and that's what I'm looking at. You can listen to individuals. I can't give everyone this or that, but you can work on some of the issues that they have from the last from the incumbent all the way where we're going forward, and work on those and make it better. It's nothing against the incumbent. It's what can I do to help, and what can I do to bridge that particular person together. But at the same time, my vision is to move north. That direction is to move north and to make that ward 100% better. That's
got to be a good campaign slogan.
It's got to be. North.
Move north with Don North.
Move north.
Don North is our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. How will you communicate with constituents? Do you plan public meetings and speeches? You can just take advantage of social media, come on the radio. What's your plan to communicate?
Well, we divided the campaign into three elements, and the first element was getting the word out and putting yard signs up is where we are now, and at the same time we're still meeting. As my campaign goes, as my help goes through the ward, I have to go back and go through each one of those houses and introduce them. So they're trying to get ahead of me. At the same time, I'm coming back through saying I'm that person that they talked about maybe 2 days ago. And then the third part of it is to go back and sit down and analyze where we are. Still go out and shake hands with the individuals out there, talk to them, listen to them, and understand that I can't do everything, but understand that they have a person that's in that seat and that's a part of that ward. I've been there for 25 years, and I love it. I've lived in some of the biggest homes in this country. I love right where I am right now.
Well, how about when you're in office for the next 4 years, and how are you going to communicate with constituents then? How are they going to reach out to you and say, Don, I didn't like that vote, or yes, Don, don't vote for this, or definitely vote for this? How are you going to get to hear their voices?
Well, my communication is always open. I give my number out to everyone, and I have been hearing a lot from them. But to continue to communication, it does not stop once you get into the office. I think the work starts even harder once you get in. You still have to have that listening program. You still have to be able to go out and pull together a listening tour, and we could do that at some of the facilities inside Ward 1. I would, at this particular time, once I get in office, within a month, I would have my constituents in a listening tour, to sit down and listen to them, eyeball to eyeball. Once I win, 30 days, sit down, listen to them. Okay, you're in the office. This is not right. What can you do about this? And and then you gradually move that forward, maybe another 30, maybe another 60 days or so. And so you never get away from your constituents in the ward. You never shut the door on the constituents in the ward. You're always open. You're always out there, and letting the individuals know that you're part of the team. I don't see myself any better than anyone out there. I'm just a regular guy that wants to move forward, looking at safety in the community, looking at improvement in housing, looking at things for senior citizens, that I'm looking at programs for that, et cetera, et cetera.
One of the big roles for a city council person is rezoning,
Yes.
agreeing or allowing for rezoning. Every meeting that's going to come up, it seems like. When do you feel like it's okay to tell somebody what they can and cannot do with their property? Like if they want to, I don't want to give an example, I don't want to throw you out there, but when somebody's asking for rezoning, how will you consider that, and how do you feel like it would be okay to say no?
Well, before I said no, I want to research. I want to research that particular, why that rezoning is there, the pros and the cons, and once I research that, I could give them a better answer. That's always a tough matter. That's always a tough situation to deal with. But you got the city in one hand, and you've got that personal. You have that personal situation, and so to be able to give them the solid answer, to be able to give them the right answer, I definitely want to be able to research it. The more research you got, the more the city ordinance and all that. You got to put all that together to make that decision.
What's your feelings on eminent domain? And I don't know if council has the power to vote. I don't know if they get to vote on that, or if it's just controlled by city manager. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you knew that the city wanted to use it, for a project of their own, I mean, how would you, would you react? Would you respond? Would you, check it out and see if it's okay? What would your reaction be?
Eminent domain is always a tricky, sticky take over someone's house or someone's property or something of that nature. I think our city, in the best interest, would make that would have that decision that this needs to be taken over for the particular. And once again, you got my vote is always the vote that I feel that's best for the community, and it'll be hard to answer that at this particular point here without understanding exactly the situation. But
the city did use it within the last 2 years. There was a property close to the water park.
Okay.
And they used it to, and I don't know if somebody was actually living in it, but I know somebody owned it, and they weren't, excited about getting rid of it initially. But they used that. I believe they used that for parking for that.
Okay.
For that water.
I'd like to research that, and I wasn't aware of it, but it's something I would definitely look into.
All right, Don North, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Are you supportive of the special purpose local option sales tax?
Yes. I think that builds the community. Carrollton has done a lot to build the city, special with SPLOST. My background in that, and just understanding it does work. There's some pros. There's a lot of pros, but there's some some cons in it as well.
Do you think the city, and I guess most importantly, the police department, should support and assist immigrations and customs agents when and if they are in the community looking for illegal people who are illegally or committing crimes, crimes that have to do with being someplace else?
Let me just lightly touch that. I have not read up on that completely, but I understand that with our administration today, out of the Trump administration, there have been some efforts to tie the police departments and departments of that nature together for this. I have to research that a little bit more. But if a person commit a crime in the United States, that person has to suffer the consequences for that.
They're counting a crime that they're here, not that that they outstayed their welcome. In some cases. Right. But hey, Don, we've got 2 minutes left on the show. Do you have a nice little campaign speech? If you're knocking on my door and you come by asking for my vote, maybe you can give us some of that.
Well, my name is Don North. I'm running for Ward 1. I believe in where I am. I lived here for 25 years. I'm the best person to move this ward forward. You can count on me. You can count on me to build a better community out here. And so my vote is vote North.
And what we've got a minute to go here. So what's your favorite thing about Ward 1, if not Carrollton as a whole?
I like the people there. I like the people. Meeting new people that have moved in. I'm enjoying the people. My area that I live in is quiet. I enjoy meeting. It's everybody in that neighborhood. It's races of all types in that neighborhood. So I really enjoy that.
How about it? You have a campaign website, campaign Facebook page. How can people get in touch with you if they have questions that we didn't touch on this morning?
My phone number is the best way. I won't build a Facebook page until I win. Once I win, I'll build a Facebook page and incorporate all the pictures and everything that I'm doing right now. I'm out. It's knocking on doors. Hot sun, late in the afternoon, house to house. Some doors are open, some are supporting me, so that's what I'm looking for.
All right, Don North, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. He is a candidate for Ward 1 City Council for the City of Carrollton, challenging Jacqueline Bridges. Early voting begins, advanced voting, October the 14th. It's a 3-week period. And Election Day is November the 4th. Everybody have a great weekend. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.